Hello, my name is Jason, Head of Creative here at Scribbleo. Today I just want to take you through a quick tutorial on how to create a bowling ball hitting some pins, just to show how Scribbleo can combine whiteboard style, doodle style animation with motion graphic animation. So first of all, create a project. So here I'm on my project screen. So click on the create new project. Then I'm going to set this to 30 frames a second at 1080p, which is pretty standard. So there you can see the canvas. There's options within Scribbleo so that you can do things like turn on safe zones, so you can see where these are, and also you can customize these, change the settings of these here, so that if you want different types of safe zones or if you're working to different sort of video criteria. So you've got a bit of flexibility there, but I'm going to turn those off. Right, I'm going to call this bowling balls. Hit save. Okay, then what I need to do is just bring some artwork into the canvas. So click on the artwork tab, click on add artwork. This will take you to all the SVG files that you have in your library. You can always download more from the marketplace, but ultimately this is just some that I've already downloaded. Here you'll see the bowling ball and the bowling pin. These are the two that I want. So I'll add those to the project. And there you'll see it drops it straight into the center of the project. So I'm going to move the pin over there, scale it down a bit. Move the bowling ball over there because that's where I want it to start. And what I'm going to do in this video is draw in the ball and then have that roll across and knock over the pins. So it's pretty straightforward, but it just sort of gives you an idea of what's possible in our software. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to duplicate the pin because I want a few of them. So duplicate again. And once more, I'm going to put that one to the back. I'm going to put that there. So again, you can obviously add as many pins as you like, but I'm just going to run with those 4 pins for now. Okay, so that's the scene set up. So what I want to do is draw this in, have it roll across and knock the pins over. So I can go to properties. This is where all the animation options are. So making sure that the bowling ball is selected, which you can either do on the canvas or you can do in artwork by selecting this, and you'll see that there's a little box around the item which lets you know that you've highlighted it, and also there's a little orange box around the item in the artwork tab, which again shows you which one you've highlighted. So we've got the ball selected, and I first of all want to draw that in. So here you'll see the draw animation tool. So I'm going to create a keyframe, which creates a keyframe down the bottom. I'm going to slide that back down to 0 because there's nothing there, so therefore 0. And then I want that to draw the ball. Let's just roughly click there, add a keyframe, and say that's where I want the ball to finish being drawn. So if I just preview that, there you go. That's the ball. So that's the ball being drawn in. At the moment, I haven't put a hand into the animation yet, but I'll do that at the end because that just gets in the way. So there we have the bowling ball drawn in, and then what I want to do is then soon after, so I might speed that up a bit. So as you can see, you can drag the keyframes along the timeline, so you can control where it starts and ends, and also you can just drag the whole thing. So if you want the whole thing to sort of animate a bit later on, so I'm going to leave that about there, slight gap. Then I want to draw the first pin in, so I'll add a keyframe, slide that back, and then animate in fully. If you already have a keyframe set and then you move the slider, it'll automatically add a new keyframe to where you've moved the slider. So that's that one drawn in, and then immediately as that one's drawn in, I want to draw in this next one. So I'll add a keyframe, make that quite quick. Then I want to draw that one in next. So put that to 0. Animate that in, and then the one at the back will be last. So I'll start that there, and then there. So now, as you can see, there's keyframes added for all of those pins. So if I just do a quick preview, so you'll see that the front pin draws over the top of that pin, which I don't really want to happen because I just don't like that. So what I can do is, this is drawing this pin first, so I'm going to swap that around to say draw that pin next, and then change the duration of that. So let's just preview that. That's better. So it draws the front pins in first and draws the other pins behind, which I just think just looks slightly better. So that's drawing in everything. Now what I want to do is move the ball so that once that's drawn in, the ball starts rolling. But what I'll probably do is have the ball rolling already as I'm drawing in the pins. So what I can do is on the last frame of the bowling ball, I'm going to click a keyframe for the rotation. And I'm then going to have that go to about there. And I'm going to want it spinning, so I can control this slider to say how many times I want it spinning. So if I just preview that a minute, it won't move obviously at this point, but it's spinning. See there, you get the spinning, which is probably could do going a little bit quicker. So I'm going to turn that up to 900. Again, you can manually control the slider or enter in a value, whichever you prefer. So it's drawing the pin, the ball, then the ball is rolling while the pins are being drawn in. So that's fine. So what I now want to do is I also want to change the position of the ball. So I'll add a keyframe there at the same point that the rotation starts. And then what I also want to do, you've got several ways of doing this. You could just drag this across like that. And that will basically, there you go, the ball is then rolling across the screen. Or you can add in numbers here and then control that more accurately. Because if you look at this, you'll see that the ball is at 80. Let's put that 80, position 80 there. And on this final keyframe, it's moved slightly. So again, I can put that 80 there. And that makes sure it stays on a linear track rather than sort of go up and down. So the ball gets drawn in, rolls across, and then what we want is the pins to basically just scatter out of the way. So what I want to do now is just position, so I know whether, right, so the ball's hitting there on the first pin. So what I want to do is I want to change the position of that pin. So I've added a keyframe, and I then want that pin to go up there. I'm actually going to select the rotation as well, so I can rotate the pin. So go there, and then I'm going to have the pin rotate, and then it's going to sort of fall down. So what I've done is I've just cut to a couple of, it's about 10 minutes just to take me to get this animation just tweaked as I would want. So you see that I've sort of moved some of the keyframes around, changed the timing slightly. So there wasn't any point you sort of sitting watching me do that because that's just fine tuning. So as you can see from the preview, the ball gets drawn in, rolls across nicely, and the pins fly out of the way. So that's great, I'm happy with that. Now all I need to do is just add the drawing hand, although I quite like it without the drawing hand. It's quite a nice effect. You can add a marker pen with a hand here. So there's a small selection on the marketplace at the moment you can download, or you can upload your own hand holding a pen, and you can upload as many different versions as you want, and you can combine them. So for example here there's 3 different versions. For some reason I put that one in twice, but there's 3 different versions of my hand, and they're all slightly different, so that when it animates it randomly chooses between the 3. There's a blank hand here, which I'm probably going to use for this video, and the little eye icon, that lets you choose where the marker gets drawn, so the actual point that it will follow. So there I've put that on the nib, so it's worth checking when you first import them that it's actually, this little red circle is on the end of the tip, because that'll make sure it follows the lines more accurately. We will improve the way that this works eventually, but that's how it works for now. So I'm going to add those 2 to the project. So both of the hands now appear under resources. You can't animate them any more than that. They're just there as a sort of a resource to use. And then when I preview, you'll now see the hand is drawing in those items. And that's the finished video. So I will render that out, which is straightforward to do. So you just hit save, click on render, and then basically start the render. And then this gives you a progress of the rendering as it goes, and then the video will be ready. So I'll cut to showing you how that looks. So thanks again for watching, and if you can remember to like the video and follow or subscribe, whichever option's available, that would be great. That would really help, and I'll see you next time.